everybody, it's the Lawn Gnome. Welcome back to another Funko Pop update over here on my channel. If you are new, let me just say welcome. It is a pleasure to have you. And for all of you returning, before I get into the Funko discussion, I just want to make sure that everybody out there is doing okay. I'm recording this 2 days after the results of the 2024 United States election. I'm hoping that those of you who got what you wanted are celebrating, but not gloating, and more importantly, reaching over to the other side and trying to have some very good discussions. And for all of you that didn't get the results that you wanted, do the same. Reach out to other people. Try to get some reasonable, positive conversations going for the way forward. And if that's just something that you cannot do, find something that makes you happy. Whether it's admiring your Funko Pops, watching a good series on a streaming service, reading a good book, playing a video game, listening to some songs that put you at peace, or just finding a like-minded friend or family member and just having a drink, something like a bowl of ice cream or a slice of pizza. Just do something to put your minds at ease. That's all that I can ask. So, of course, I'm going to try and help you guys a little bit. I mean, I'm wearing a shirt that basically explains my thoughts to a certain degree about the outcome of this election. And I am just hoping that this will give you a little bit of a good time in your day. So Funko is definitely doing a good thing. It's definitely exciting me all the more. I mean, we're heading into 2025, guys. It's coming, and I am just so happy with some of the things that they have been announcing over the last couple of weeks. I mean, I just made another pre-order, guys, and I actually just downloaded the Funko app and just tracked my entire collection. My entire collection of Funko products outside of Funko t-shirts. I'm talking pops, sodas, a rock candy that I own, Pocket Pops. I've got over 500 pieces in my collection at this point, guys. And after going on 12 years of collecting, that's pretty impressive. So it's just not going to stop right now. I still can't get over the fact that this may have been one of the stronger years for me in regards to collecting Funko in quite some time. It's definitely more of a sporadic feel rather than just buying everything that I see every single day. But I just pre-ordered the Beach Boys 5-pack that I was hoping was a reality, and yes, it is coming. The Pet Sounds Beach Boys 5-pack. I'm going to have them all. I'm going to add them to my Music Pops collection. Cannot wait to see them displayed where all of my Pop Rocks are. And they also just announced a classic person in popular culture, as someone who likes to preserve classic cartoon characters, because there's certain films right now and television shows that are really getting up there. We're literally starting to see movies that are 100 years old now, and we need to preserve those well-known movie names and those well-known actors that were in those films, and one of them was the great Charlie Chaplin. So the fact that we're finally getting a Charlie Chaplin pop, I just had to get it because he's an icon. He is one of the main reasons why slapstick is a thing in movies. I mean, even if you don't watch a Charlie Chaplin film, go watch the biopic Chaplin starring Robert Downey Jr. that actually got him an Oscar nomination. It was a great film, and to not have Charlie Chaplin in my collection would just be a sin against humanity. The same reason why I cannot wait, because next week I will be getting my Gene Kelly, Donald Lockwood character from Singing in the Rain, this wonderful pop from one of my all-time favorite movie musicals. I'm just so glad that we always get good things from Funko. There's always something out there that appeals to us, but after so many years of Funko creating the pop line, really digging deep right now. I mean, we're really seeing them dig real deep to get characters like Don Lockwood from an old film from the 50s, or Charlie Chaplin, who was giving us movies before they even had sound. You know, knowing that we're actually getting these iconic characters and names in Hollywood really brings a smile to my face and a real positive feeling in my heart, because as far as I'm concerned, regardless of how you feel about the transitions and everything crazy that's been going on in Funko, when you really look at the bare bones of this company and the people that are part of it, they're fans and they want their customers to just be happy. And that's what I really feel they've been doing since Brian Mariotti left and since Mike Becker announced that he was going to step down again. They're really trying to preserve Funko's legacy, because in 2011, they gave the Pop to us. They changed the game in terms of toys and collectibles. For the better, maybe, I don't know. But it's still going strong. This is not the Beanie Baby, everybody. I've said this a few times. This company and this product is far from going the way of the Beanie Baby, because the Beanie Baby wasn't popular for more than 5 years, and that says a lot. So, sorry for that little winded thing. I'm just trying to make you feel good. I'm trying to make you feel happy just a little bit. And now let's take a look at how my collection's been going. So this is going to be a large collection update, guys, because of the fact that there's just so many new Pops that came to my collection that I had not been able to share with you just yet. So of course we are going back to the wonderful world of comic books in so many different ways, and I am so excited to feature the ones that you're seeing, as well as 2 more after this. So I have collected a lot of comic book Pops over the last couple of months, and simply because of the fact that I have gotten back hard into comic book reading, and I'm just finding myself getting my hands on more comic book oriented Pops for my collection, just to fuel that passion. I mean, I've even decked out my walk-in closet where my entire Pop collection is with mostly comic book posters. So there's no reason why I can't talk about comic book Pops. So we're going to go into the pages of the comic books as well as into the television. And it's a mixture of DC and Marvel as well, which makes me happy. So the first one we're going to take a look at is my brand new Kite Man Pop. Kite Man, hell yeah, everybody. It's the PX Previews exclusive deluxe Kite Man. And this is not part of the Kite Man Hell Yeah show. This is actually part of the Harley Quinn TV show, because he was a prominent part of the show, and it is also the reason why there is a spin-off show, which was actually quite entertaining. I like this Pop. I mean, I think the only reason why I picked this one up was clearly because of the thought bubble, because that was something that was introduced first with a Mary Jane Watson Pop, and I was just like, the fact that there's a thought bubble here just makes it all the reason to enjoy this Pop, and I like it. I mean, he's flying on his kite. That's all that he's got. The costume is very plain. There's really nothing major that pops about it, but it's good. The position that he's flying, and I also love the way that they've got the kite all nice and open. It's just a good Pop. I think it's really fun to have, and I'm very proud to have this one in my collection. You just, of course, got to be very careful with the ones that have stands, because you never know how fragile they can be. It was going to be a very weird thing if I didn't actually find a way to incorporate the 50th anniversary of the character Wolverine, the most, if not one of the most popular characters in the Marvel Universe. I mean, you love him in the comics, you love him in the X-Men television show, you love him portrayed by Hugh Jackman. I mean, there are so many ways to love Wolverine, and it would be wrong if I didn't actually celebrate the 50th anniversary, and the best way that I thought I could do that was with the Funko Shop exclusive of the Wolverine and Sabretooth 2-pack. And there were many reasons why I went with that, because I could have gotten a Weapon X, I could have gotten a Fatal Attractions, which featured a moment from X-Men number 25, and there was even Old Man Logan, but I felt getting the Wolverine Sabretooth 2-pack was the best route for me, because, first and foremost, I never actually had Wolverine with his classic uniform. I mean, I have the X-Men 1 comic cover. I actually have now, soon to be, 3 comic book covers from Funko which feature Wolverine on it, but I never had the classic yellow and blue spandex, and that's why I just had to go with this. I mean, I love that he is leaping into the fight. The details on his adamantium claws are perfect. The mouth is definitely a selling point here, as well as the beautiful details on his costume. I mean, this is the legendary Wolverine costume. You just can't have a Funko Pop collection with this version of Wolverine not being in it. And I also never had a Sabretooth in my collection, and I do enjoy the character of Sabretooth. So, there was a Sabretooth pop that came out such a long time ago, but I didn't get it. But knowing that there was going to be a much more dynamic, a better sculpt of Sabretooth, and how it was going to go perfectly with the Wolverine pop in the double pack, because when you take a look at them side by side, Wolverine is leaping into action and Sabretooth is just standing there ready to catch him and tear him to pieces. But once again, the mouth is definitely what sells it, and the beautiful details on his costume. I mean, it's such a bizarre costume. Boy, comics were just crazy in those great years of the 80s and 90s with those outrageous costumes. And I love the hair, the style of his hair, the eyebrows, the sideburns, everything about this Sabretooth pop works, and it's just great to have these two characters in a 2-pack and add them to my collection. Another big thing that I was very proud to introduce was 2 more NFT physical pops. Yes, I got 2 more pop digitals, and these were characters that when they announced them, I got very upset that they were exclusives, because I would have totally bought them if they were commons or physical exclusives from specific retailers or even the Funko shop. So I was patient, I waited for everything on eBay, and lo and behold, the prices dropped to places where I was able to get these 2 specific pops at various points in time over the last couple of months. The first one that I wanted to feature is Parallax, aka Hal Jordan, former Green Lantern at the time, and right now, if you take a look at my channel, That's Comical, my buddy Andy and I are actually going on the road to Blackest Night, so we are featuring those moments of DC history when Hal does in fact become the entity known as Parallax. The details on this pop are wonderful. The green energy with a definite sinister look, the look of the Parallax uniform, even the cape in the back, and of course at that time Hal Jordan did have some white hair going on, so it was very important to really give us those great details, and I'm so glad, because I love the Green Lantern comic books, especially this point in time during Emerald Twilight and 0 Hour Crisis in Time. I just had to add this version of Hal Jordan to my collection. And also, this is the very first Hal Jordan pop I actually own in my collection, so that makes me even more excited. The other one that I had to get my hands on was Superman from Earth 23, aka Calvin Ellis, aka President Superman. This is a character that was actually modeled after Barack Obama. And I knew that there were all of these rumors that J.J. Abrams and Ta-Nehisi Coates were going to be writing a Superman story about a black Superman, and everyone was so upset because what they were doing was they were just going to take the classic Clark Kent story and give us a black Superman movie. I'm like, no. Do you not know that there are black Supermans from alternate realities in the DC comic book world, and one of them just happens to be frickin' President of the United States? And not just that, look at this uniform. I love Calvin Ellis's uniform. It is so cool. The way the S is designed, and on the back of his cape, he's got a black S in that exact same design. It's such a great version of Superman. It's also a shame that this version of Superman doesn't have his own title. I personally would read it. I really, really would. Because when DC Comics was doing their Infinite Frontier storyline, Calvin Ellis played a dominant role in the miniseries that led us to Dark Crisis, and I appreciated his character very much. I even have a graphic novel that was written by J.M. DeMatteis and James Tucker, where we actually saw the DC animated universe version of the Justice League meet alternate versions of their counterparts, and one of them was Calvin Ellis. So why can't we have that Superman movie. I would love it, I would watch it, I would praise it if the script was good. So the fact that we actually have a President Superman Funko Pop, I had to add it to my collection. I'm glad that I was patient because I never thought I'd be able to get my hands on it, but now I do. So that's this bunch. Let's go to the next round of Funko Pops that we have to share, and I gotta clear some space because these are comic covers. As I said, we have comic covers to go over. These are two comic covers that have actually been in my collection for quite some time, and quite frankly, I couldn't be more happy for these two specific ones. The first one was a Target Con 2024 exclusive. So, comic covers are a very unique breed of pops for me. They've got to really be something that I connect with, and I am very happy that at this point in time, all the ones that I have are based on monumental events in comics or comic books that I just absolutely love, or creators that I absolutely love. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Last Ronin. It was a phenomenal book. It saw Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird team up with Tom Waltz for the very first time, and of course Eastman and Laird returning to do the Ninja Turtles in a long time to give us probably one of the most brilliant Ninja Turtle stories ever given to us, and that of course was The Last Ronin. And knowing that there was actually going to be pops coming from The Last Ronin, I actually have a soda, so I was glad to actually have a Last Ronin pop. And I didn't like the common regular, but the comic cover, knowing that it was going to be based on Kevin Eastman's art, that was an absolute must for me. So of course, you got the variant cover of the Kevin Eastman art of issue number 1, and you've got the pop inside there, and I love everything. The wrinkles on his face, the damage on the costume, the chipped sword, everything is beautiful on this pop comic cover, and of course, you get the nice one there with everything, the artwork, the signature for the artwork, all the creators that are involved with this book. It is a phenomenal book. Can't recommend it enough. Even the 2 sequel series, The Lost Days and The Last Ronin 2 Re-Evolution, they're great. But then they announced a very big surprise, and it was from Entertainment Earth, and it was a glow-in-the-dark pop, and they were giving us Batman from Batman The Dark Knight Returns, the Frank Miller work that shook the comic world. And of course they had to go with the very first comic cover of the 4-issue series, and I was very excited for this one, specifically because of the fact that it is one of the greatest comic books ever made, and the fact that the lightning bolt in the box is 3D and it glows in the dark. That's all the more sweeter. I actually already have the Dark Knight collection, not the entire Dark Knight collection, just a piece of it, so I never actually had Batman in his regular spandex uniform that was featured in the book. There were 2 versions, and this is the second version. So knowing that I was going to actually get a Funko Pop of Batman in this form made me very excited, and the thing that was a really interesting thing about this one was the fact that they gave it some actual character, because obviously the comic cover, he's in the shadow. We'll turn it around. Yeah, he's in the shadow. You don't see his face, but you've still got that pose, which has been shown in so many different ways, even parodies. But the fact that they actually just put him into the light, they gave us his uniform, they gave us the wrinkles on his cowl, they gave us a mouth, which I think definitely sells it. It's a great piece. It really, really is. And of course, it would not be a great piece if it was not based on one of the greatest comic books of all time. So 2 comic covers. You know, the comic cover collection, it's a good one. I personally think it may be one of the best ones that Funko's got. It's just a very selective one. I mean, sometimes they crank out a bunch you just don't care for, but then every now and again, one of these is announced, and that's what makes me very excited. And that's the reason why the ones that I have in my collections are the ones that they are, because they speak to me, just like every Funko Pop in my collection does. Yes, I have a lot now. There are over 500 pops in this collection right now, but we have to take into account that I've been collecting Funkos for the last 11 years, so the fact that there's only 500 in my collection after 11 years of collecting shows you how really selective I am. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. Please leave your comments down in the box below. Let me know how your October went. Did you get anything from New York Comic Con? Unfortunately, I didn't. But I am looking forward to knowing if there was anything out there that I may have missed in terms of new releases. And what are you looking forward to that's on the way very, very soon? Because outside of what I mentioned, there's still a lot more. I mean, the anime line is blowing up, guys. Blowing up. So I'll see you in the next one. If you enjoyed the video you just watched, feel free to leave a comment. Also, feel free to subscribe if you want to be up to date with our latest videos. Thank you so much for joining us today, and we'll see you in the next one. Actions speak louder than words.